felt brutal.
This thing gets me going.
This thing's heavy, man. Loving it so far. Beautiful. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Screen Tested. I am your host Tyrant, and today's episode I have been waiting to do for over a year. Ever since the Doom The Dark Ages trailer dropped, I immediately knew that I was going to be making the shield, the Saw shield. Now this thing is incredibly dangerous, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But first off, I just want to talk about the Doom franchise because I am a big fan. Doom 2016 I thought was a fantastic entry into the franchise, right? But Doom Eternal is quite possibly one of the best FPS games ever created. I absolutely love it. It's fast paced. I love the weapon switching as like the philosophy behind the game. It makes it so much fun and so engaging in how you take down enemies. It's a whole thing. I even enjoyed the story. So needless to say, I am very excited about the new game, right? Doom The Dark Ages looks fantastic. It looks right up my alley. And in today's episode, we're going to be covering, obviously, the Saw shield. Now, there's a couple of caveats that I have to mention right off the bat. Now, it's dangerous. Like, it's actually incredibly dangerous, even by my standards. And I do crazy shit all the time. But this is like another level. So there's compromises that have to be made here. First off, I'm not going to have any moving parts simply because that is... It's like 100% guaranteed injury if I do that. So I'm going to try my best to still create something that can be applicable to the Doom shield, but at the same time is not going to result in an injury. Now obviously the shield in the game has a whole bunch of powers. It has like force fields, he throws it, he does a whole bunch of crazy shit, but it's a game at the end of the day. We have to test things in the real world, playing by the real world rules. But it is important to acknowledge that caveat. But with that little caveat out of the way, let's get started with today's project because I have been itching to get to this. So starting off with the Doom shield, I got this beautiful Rotella shield. This is combat grade. This is, for sparring, for fighting. So it should be able to hold up against everything that we throw at it. It'll also make a great base for everything that I need to add on to it as well. So the first thing I did was grab this steel flat bar and cut out all of the individual saw teeth. I think there was about 20 or 30 in total by the end of it. I'm then going to take them to the grinder, take off all the burrs, all the sharp edges from the cutting. I'm then going to remove the surface coating and then grind in a bevel and an edge to make them sharp. We then get to the long and tedious process of welding everything to the shield. This took a long time and the welds really didn't turn out too good. There was kind of an issue with the welder that we didn't realize until later. So the welding was quite unenjoyable and quite long. I really don't want to talk about it. But after all of the saw teeth are hopefully welded on securely, I guess we'll find out in testing, won't we? I'm then going to be using these steel plates to go on the front of the shield. This is more aesthetic than anything else, but if you look closely, you might recognize them from the Arlong Sword project. I enjoy recycling materials when I can. I'm then going to give the shield a base coat and then start on the painting process to get it to look as close as possible to the one in the game. That includes giving it the Doomslayer mark. And then last but not least, attaching all of the plates to the front of the shield. This time I'm using screws simply because I didn't want to weld them on. But with that out of the way, that is the Doomslayer shield ready to go. But with all that being said, let's get to the B-roll and then to the testing. So, our shield. First and foremost, I feel like a fucking Dark Souls boss. This thing is a monster. This thing is a monstrosity. Not only is it a monstrosity, it's heavy. It is a heavy This thing is a heavy monster. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing this on my right hand, and that is because we are testing this as a primary weapon in today's episode. Obviously, it's not a primary weapon, but because I want to be able to use full force and I want to actually be able to strike things properly, I'm using my dominant arm. Now, that being said, we can put it in the left hand, and like the Doom guy would have is another weapon in his main hand, right? This is purely just so I can generate enough power to actually test it, which is why it's on the right side. First big issue with this sort of design is obviously these spikes. Now these spikes up here near my head are blunt. Now that doesn't mean that if I took a hit in the neck with them, I'd be okay, but they are not sharp. They start being sharp from here down to here. So all around here, those spikes are sharpened, meaning we can strike with them, we can shield bash with them, so we can get some good tests with the spikes. But up here, they are more aesthetic purposes, but they are still steel that is poking out. But I'll get into that a little bit later. Let's hit some things first. This thing's heavy, man. It is a heavy motherfucker. But in terms of how that felt, it felt brutal. As in, when we get up to Tony, that'll break you. Let's do some more, because it's really, really fun as well. There's flex. That flex means that if this was a spinning blade, into the fucking neck and kill you. That's the problem here. Now, there is a caveat to this. I know people are gonna instantly say the Doom Guy is so strong that doesn't matter. The reason why you're wrong is Doom Guy is still holding handles. He's still holding materials that are made of regular things. Now, those regular things are all failure points, meaning, let's say a 60-ton demon punches his shield. The shield will flex and or break because the handles can flex and or break, which means that he is also all of a sudden in danger. Now, he might be strong enough to destroy that 60-ton demon or whatever, but the materials that the shield is made out of, specifically the handles and the places where you hold it, it will have flex and it will have give. For example, this shield here. This is how much flex and give this has. Now imagine this had a saw on it that was spinning around. When it comes to any saws or moving parts, they have teeth, and those teeth are moving very fast. So when something comes in between those teeth and the things that are moving, it kicks it off. This happens with chainsaws. It's a big source of injuries and sometimes even deaths, which is why this is such a dangerous shield that I couldn't make this like a spinning saw teeth. I just couldn't because of kickback. If I hit something and this has kickback, it can kick back into my leg, into my neck, into my torso, into my other arm. It can kick back in any direction. That's just how it works. So I wanted to bring these points up because they're really important. Like I said, we'll go through them just very quickly. This thing isn't really going to be trapping blades in these teeth too much. Steel slides, steel slippery. On top of that, it's not really going to be adding any benefits. If it was spinning, there'd be a shit ton of kickback. It'd be super dangerous more to you than your opponent. And then lastly, when it comes to actually using the shield, right, with good coverage, you're kind of in some awkward positions because this shield can come close to your body. If your opponent kicks it, if they hit it into you, you're going to have a bad time. On top of that, when you want to actually use your shield, right, you might get into a bit of issues with you hitting your own little saw teeth or whatever. So again, let's just check out kickback. Yeah, let's stop doing that. This thing gets me going. Let's fucking go. Let's hit Tony. Just to quickly interrupt, well, myself, this is one of those episodes that is quite expensive. We're talking a couple of $100s just for this one episode. Now, obviously, I'm really passionate about it and I'm really excited to get to this one. But if you wanted to support the channel, you can. There'll be links down below to my Patreon and YouTube memberships. Maybe today is the day that you consider supporting. All right, let's get back to the episode. Get your bitch ass over here, Tony. Go person, shield bash. Ooh, that feels so. Yeah, this one's getting me. Loving it so far. Beautiful. So one of the issues and the flaws in my design with this shield is obviously the welding. Don't want to talk about it. It was a pain. I don't want to talk about it. But because I was welding such a large surface area, there's a lot of little bits to a joint on here. The inside fiber caught on fire multiple times. So the foam backing and padding on this is very thin. very thin. So when I hit things in the wrong spot, for example, up near my elbow where it burnt the most, it means my elbow is hitting that steel, just like then. Note to self, don't do that again. Anyway, I fucking like it. This thing is cool, man. Super dangerous, but I like it. Let's get to some more different mediums, because I just want to hit some more stuff. I feel like a fucking Dark Souls character with this thing. Like, genuinely. I mean, if we're in our character loadout, we just... double-bladed sword. I mean... how much more fucking crazy can you get? Well, I mean... what about a trident? I mean, that's pretty monster, right? Fucking hell, yeah, like I feel very dangerous right now. If you're enjoying today's episode, you should consider subscribing. It is free after all. So we have one of our favorite reoccurring test mediums. This, whatever you call it in your part of the world, don't care. Let's see how the shield goes against something like this. Yep, deep. Safe to say, yeah, that's damage. I like it. Come on, Marcus, throw it at me.
Can one.
It's a shield. This thing fucks. This thing fucks. We've smashed enough shit. I've got some thoughts. This is heavy. But before we do that, this is a shield after all, right? Now, how protective is this shield? Obviously, one pumpkin is not a barrage of weapons. So let's quickly fire a weapon at it and see, just make sure the shield is a shield. I mean, it is combat rated, so I know what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna break an expensive arrow, but let's do it anyway. It's angled so that if there's any ricochet, it's not going to come straight back at me. I'm going to be using this particular arrow here. I'm going to break this arrow. These arrows are expensive. This is like $15 an arrow, and I'm about to... I hope you guys appreciate the content that I make for you guys. Genuinely, I hope you enjoy it. I saw the arrowhead break off. Oh, right in the pocketbook. And the head just came off. Did snap the tip, but I can reprofile it. It's still good. It's still good. Yeah, I think we got through in some areas. So instead of being down like 25 bucks in arrows, I'm down like 10. So Doom, the Dark Ages shield here, the Saw shield, whatever they call it. You guys know what time it is. It is time to get into Tyrant's initial thoughts score, or TITS for short. Now, there's a lot to go over here because obviously it still functions like a perfectly capable shield. Now, some of those arrow shots did get through, but obviously not enough to actually do any damage. You would have been perfectly safe. That's what a shield's supposed to do. No worries. In terms of the spikes, they are a very dangerous addition to a shield, not only for your opponent but for you as well. They can do some gnarly damage. Shield bashing and things like that become so much more visceral. It's very Very fun, very fun. But there's a caveat here. I don't think I would do the full shield like this. I would only do the areas where I'm actually going to use it. For example, whichever hand you are, left or right-handed, you use your shield. I'd put the spikes down near where I shield bash, and maybe some, not down near the bottom, but down kind of like a third of the shield, essentially. But that's probably how I would go about it. So let's get into some of the categories. First off, comfort. I'd probably give it an 8 for comfort, because no matter how you build this thing, it's heavy. It's heavy. This is a full steel shield with steel additions. It's all steel, manly steel. It's fucking heavy, and it can get quite exhausting. So yeah, I think that's a fair number for it. In terms of effectiveness, I've got no complaints. Like, it destroyed everything. It also defended against what it should defend against. It's also a functional shield. Like 10 out of 10 for effectiveness. It is very effective. It's an effective thing, right? Then we got to get into, I would say, wieldability. I'm gonna have to probably give this a 6. These spikes get in the way. They get in the way for you, they get in the way for your weapon. They're also something that you really have to be aware of, because if you're not, your opponent can use them to their advantage and kick these things straight into you. So yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna be for wieldability. And then last but not least, design. This one's complicated because obviously this one doesn't spin like in the games. Now obviously in the game, they have force fields, they have he throws it has a whole bunch of additional stuff, but obviously we're in the real world where we have to test real world things. For the design, I think there's a lot of strengths here. This stops being a purely defensive weapon that does have some offensive capabilities, and primarily becomes a offensive weapon with some defensive capabilities, because it's so heavy that you really have to be the Doom guy to be wielding this effectively for long periods of time without it really fatiguing the fuck out of you. So for design, I'm kind of torn, man. I'm kind of like, I like it, there's benefits, but there's also some detriments. And in the real world, those detriments could be fatal. I'll give it a 7 for design. I like it, and I love how visceral this motherfucker is. I'm truly into it. But it also means that there is some issues with it. But like I said, there are some issues that I just can't ignore. Having these spikes positioned near your face, near your leg, they can be used against you. Like I mentioned right at the beginning, the connection points from where the shield actually connects to your arm, to your forearm, how you hold it, they are failure points. And even if you're Doom guy with super strength, they can still fail, which means you would have rotating blades that can be kicked straight into you. Like it's a detriment. Now, obviously we have, you can see the damage that the welding did. Like I said, I don't want to talk about it. Let's not talk about it even in the comments. I don't want to talk about the welding. It was a bitch. But that gives us a final score of 31 out of 40. That's pretty good. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a shield, and shields are really, really, really fucking good. So like I said, we take a primarily defensive item, in that a shield, and we give it a whole bunch of offensive capabilities. It makes it really, really dangerous because of how shields are used. I am not an expert with a shield. I don't really fight sword and board that much, but even I know that you don't really want some spikes near your face with a shield, especially if they're a saw blade. That's some spicy shit there. And maybe Doom guy is the only one brave enough to actually do that sort of thing. Now, even this is dangerous, but like I said before, if I had created these blades to move or rotate or be a saw at all, I'm basically creating an assisted device. So I am not going to be doing that. That's why I didn't, right? But I think that is going to be all for today's episode, guys. I genuinely hope you enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. And if you want to support this channel, I would genuinely appreciate it. Hey, it helps me buy these things and make this content and all this sort of shit. But there'll be links to my Patreon and my YouTube memberships down below if today you feel like supporting. But as always, I'll see you next week in another episode. Have a good one, guys. Until next time. I said till next time like twice then.